Mother of Michael Shelp, what is that?
Though I doubt she's sweet.
But what was that? He's terrorizing the hell out of everything. Well, can't terrorize me. Not after Sparky's big adventure. What the hell?
Well, that's ass.
This is Krappy Review.
You know, for being a self-proclaimed lifelong enemy of the Asylum, I haven't really been doing a good job of putting them in the spotlight. I mean, with movies like the animated Titanic movie and Sparky's Big Adventure being much more terrible than anything the Asylum's ever made, the Asylum's been falling under the radar. However, the Asylum gets more money than these two groups. How dare I let Asylum go under the radar and act like it's not terrible. It is terrible. And that's why I'm going to review Atlantic Rim.
The movie starts with an oil rig. Some guy is talking to his other co-workers that are in a submarine underwater. And by the way, that is a really attractive oil rig worker. So while they're underwater, wait, more attractive oil rig workers? Has the Asylum ever seen an oil rig before? If chicks like these worked at oil rigs, I think more people would be involved in the oil rig business. I mean, I'm sure women that are 20 years old and go to university have better things to do than work at oil rigs.
Something must be off. This can't be correct.
Anyways, the sub is just hanging out underwater until they're attacked by a giant monster. Wow, didn't see that come.
There's a lot going on, but we have the press in room 3.
I don't give a damn about the press.
I need to know, was this an accident?
Of course this was an accident. That was a $15 million machine down there. What would you tell the press?
Understood.
I'm fine, I'm fine.
I like this guy. He takes no crap from anyone.
Joseph.
And now he's dead. That's just great. I like the PS2 graphics. You know, they're really great. So we're introduced to Admiral Hadley. See that face he's wearing? He uses that expression for the entire movie. Now we're introduced to Dick Fury, I mean Geis, who has the most real voice and most real eye patch I've ever seen.
You don't scuttle a rig, you scuttle a ship.
And we also got Dr. Adams at... What? Oh, now we got attractive naval-based people. What the hell is wrong with this movie? So skipping these shallow characters talk about how they lost an oil rig for 5 hours, we are introduced to our real main characters. Red, who's basically Sonic the Hedgehog except in human form, and Tracy, the most one-dimensional female protagonist ever. And now we watch this pointless fight scene.
Squid? Yeah, dude.
What?
Anything? Let me call you back.
What'd you say?
Red.
You heard me.
No, red.
No, it's all cool. I just want to make sure I heard him right.
Don't do this.
Squid.
Let me just tell you something. I'll kick your ass so fast, you won't know what hit you, bro.
Yo, just settle down, all right?
Yo, back up, bitch.
Don't touch her.
Back on. Bitch!
Now we're introduced to our black protagonist, Jim. He tells our beloved heroes about the oil rig situation, and now they head back to the base. In style. This scene reminds me of Ratatouille. They get into these giant robots so they can go underwater and find out what caused the oil rig to disappear. The backgrounds of the robots' interiors look like they were filmed in someone's basement and wrapped Christmas lights around one of those furnace pipes.
Alright, check out this dive. Olympic winner here, baby.
Tracy, you ready to get wet?
So mature.
Am I really watching this movie? You know, if I wanted to hear this, I would go hang out with 12-year-olds down the street that are smoking and causing teen pregnancy because their degenerate parents are too busy watching Honey Boo Boo and yelling at their 10-year-old.
Damn, Base, there's a lot of wreckage here. This place got torn to shreds.
Unbelievable. I've dived damn near 100 dives and seen countless pictures of others. And believe me when I tell you this, I've never seen anything like this before. Earthquake, maybe?
Missed by every seismic monitoring station on the East Coast?
I'm supposed to be acting right now?
Skipping some really boring and pointless scenes. They find the monster thing that took down the oil rig, and they're told by the people at the base not to go after it. Of course, they decide to go against that and fight it. They turn off Tracy and Jim's bots, but since apparently Red was out of range or something, the bot still works. So he chases the monster back up to land.
Listen to me. You are in great danger. This is a U.S. government issue. Mechanized robot. You need to evacuate the beach now. Get off the beach. Get off.
Who the hell would cheer at the sight of that? I mean, imagining the CGI wasn't terrible, why would I just stand there and clap at a giant robot? It could have been like a terrorist organization's robot for all I know. What the hell were they thinking? So the fight's not as interesting as you'd think it'd be, so let me spoil it. A pilot called Spitfire launches a missile in its mouth and kills it. Yippee! So anyways, after our heroes reunite, Red is arrested for disobeying orders and Jim is asked to find a missing girl. We get 10 pointless minutes of Jim looking for this kid, saving her, and then nothing ever comes out of this ever again. Also, the running into the arm scene was one of the worst things I've ever watched. Almost Michael Shelp quality right there.
Oh, ouch. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, I was so worried about you. Are you all right?
Also, call me mean and insensitive, but they could have gotten a more delicate looking kid. She looks way too old to be interested in superheroes and to be running into the arms of a creepy middle-aged man who just repeatedly says, "I was so worried," or whatever the hell he's repeating. So Red is finally taken to his cell where we watch him train and do stuff for a few seconds. Then the Admiral invites him to a hero party to celebrate Red's success. The party itself is a pointless scene. Meanwhile, Jim is helping injured people. The Admiral offers to help, but then number 2, aka Geist, comes out and takes the Admiral with him. Just to tell him that there are more monster things out there. 2 to be exact. So another monster emerges when Red is brought back to his cell, and Jim and Tracy are just playing checkers or something. Eventually the base starts shaking up and they run to get Red out of the cell. Red tells them that the dude with the keys took off, so Jim and Tracy get in a car. And then get out of a car, and they eventually find the dude, who gets squashed immediately. You'd think they'd hear a giant billion-foot-tall monster if it was anywhere close to them, so instead they find a hammer and use it to break down the lock. Meanwhile, Geist and the Admiral quarrel about using a nuke. Apparently the President of the United States ordered that the nuke be dropped. Thanks, Obama. So Red and the gang get a few feet away from the monster before the monster is killed by bombs from a normal plane. Yep. All that build-up just for that. So after doing nothing, the trio celebrate the victory of the pilots. Red leaves to squeeze the lemons, and we get a shoehorned subplot about Jim and Tracy having a secret romance. They tell Red how they got drunk and kissed. He's cool with it, but then Jim subtly implies that there was more to it.
Dude. Woo! You almost gave me a heart attack, buddy.
At least you ain't mad.
After everything we've been through today, everything we experienced, do you know how many of my brother's girlfriends I hooked up with? That is water under the bridge, all right? As long as that's all it was, nothing more. Jim.
But then, Red gets a phone call informing him that there's another monster on the loose. Before they get back into their robot suits, they receive an upgrade halo, which basically makes their robot do the same movements that they do inside of the suit, kind of like in Pacific Rim. They eventually fight the monster, who is significantly bigger than the other two. They are pretty much getting their asses whooped. Geist, aka number 2, still wants the nuke to be dropped, and this argument kind of just comes back and forth and back and forth. Upon getting their asses kicked, Dr. Adams finally informs them that they have a melee weapon in their suit. And then they take it out, and then they're all like, "Whoa, I got a warhammer."
Whoa, I got a warhammer! I'm ready!
Okay, guys, we never had a chance to go over this, but you will find a control panel near your left gyroscope. It is your MAWAP, your melee weapons activation panel. Press it now.
And then they fight the monster again. And they still get their asses kicked. Against the Admiral's orders, Geist eventually calls in the nuke, and then they got a nuke problem on the loose. The Admiral's pissed at Geist. Poor Geist. Just kidding, I hate Geist.
Who the hell were you talking to?
That was General Banning, Admiral. The USS Virginia is in theater, and we need to act now. We have to nuke these things.
That is a bad idea.
That is not our call, sir.
Are our troops still engaging the enemy?
Until there are no more options?
Well, then you get back on the horn. You tell him that I'll have them in 30 minutes.
Sir, I don't think we have that kind of time. The bots will be directly in the line of fire.
God damn it, guys, we gotta give them a chance to do their job.
Geist waits in anticipation for the nuke to blow off the entire city.
You're sick.
Shut up.
Pipe down, the both of you.
However, Red jams the nuke, and there goes Geist's plan. Geist gets pissed, goes to the lab, and orders them to turn off the Armada suits.
Shut off the Armada suits. What? Shut off the damn Armada suits.
Get it, guys.
I'm not gonna ask you.
What the hell's going on here?
I swear to God, this is the most unjustified, most shoehorned in betrayal scene ever. Eventually, Geist holds a gun to the Admiral, but like an idiot, he hesitates, and then eventually they arrest Geist. Wow. What a good plan, Geist. You're such a good villain.
You think I'm scared of a little coward like you? 5. Shoot a man, Sheldon. 4. You know what the secret is to shooting somebody, Sheldon? Three. Never hesitate.
Back to the issue that actually matters, Red uses that jam nuke to fling the dinosaur up into space. He kicks him off and boom, he is destroyed. This whole thing is an Avengers ripoff. Like Iron Man, Red jams the nuke and then uses the nuke to destroy the enemy, which is what Iron Man does in the Avengers. And then Red falls from space from a very high distance and falls onto the ground. Except in the Avengers he's caught, but whatever. Anyways, and Red is still alive at the end of everything, like Iron Man was alive at the end of everything. And then we all live happily ever after. Also, that's literally the end of the movie. Once he gets out of the suit and you see he's alive, that's the end. And then they walk off all happily. So is Jim still tapping his girlfriend? Is she gonna have Jim's baby and Red's not gonna know about it? The world may never know.
Atlantic Rim is probably one of the stupidest movies I've ever watched. Maybe not the worst, but definitely one of the stupidest. There's no moral to the story. There's no resolution to the whole love affair. It's like they didn't even care. They just needed to make a movie that mimicked Pacific Rim. And that's all they needed. I can't even go on. That's all they needed. That's all they wanted to do. Oh yeah, that monster's still out there. I guess I should, you know, fight it or something. I don't know how am I gonna fight it. I don't know. I don't have any weapons. You know, I don't have any. Getting a call. Oh, there's a baseball bat in the cabinet. I got a warhammer, boys. Oh, I got a warhammer. I'm ready. Why didn't my mom tell me that I had a baseball bat in the cabinet before? Well, I gotta go kick some ass. See you later.